Well, good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, our severe weather event is starting to unfold, as you can see from this radar presentation. It's about 2:45. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. Wanted to give everyone an update on what we got going on. So first and foremost, we do have a tornado watch, which we'll outline here in just a second until 8 p.m. That's for all of North Texas. The primary risk, I still think, is hail, but tornadoes are definitely not out of the possibility. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So this is the radar, current radar, and as you can see, we have one supercell thunderstorm out west of Mineral Wells, moving east northeast, and on its current trajectory, I should say, it'd be what's going through the northern half of the Metroplex. Let's hope that that's not the case, but it's not looking great. But still a couple hours away. But just it is starting to crank up, as they say. And just getting another warning. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, just issued another warning for Parker County, Palo Pinto County. Looks like we'll update that in just a second. So let's put this particular radar in motion here. Kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. And there's a new warning that just popped up. So it is, like I said, moving east northeast. These supercells tend to be right movers, so I wouldn't be shocked if it takes on more of an east, unfortunately, more of an eastern trajection, if I can get that word right today. Apparently I can't. And so it's coming. Doesn't mean everybody's going to see the worst of the worst, but we definitely want to be aware. And as you can see, we do have some more cells popping up here, and you have some more down here. So all going to be moving this way toward Dallas, Fort Worth, North Texas, unfortunately. And it's just something we're just going to have to keep an eye on. If you if you're commuting, pretty much anytime after 4 p.m., especially on the western side of the Metroplex, that's where we're going to start to see some of these storms move in. The central eastern part of the Metroplex, 5 to 6 p.m. So if you have travel plans during that time, then you'll that's just keep that in mind, because that's when the weather will probably most likely start to move in a little bit. All right, so let's get rid of this and go to some graphics here, kind of give you an idea of what's going on from a watch standpoint. So this is the tornado watch. As you can see, it covers most of North Texas, maybe not the far southeast part of North Texas, but definitely the Metroplex and areas north and west. That's until 8 o'clock. The hazards associated with it, a few tornadoes. I think, unfortunately, we probably will see a few tornadoes. Hopefully not very many. Hopefully none. We will see hail reports. We've already seen hail reports. I think the biggest hail report we got so far is 2 inches, which is just a little bit less than tennis ball size out in West Texas. And then we could have scattered wind gust up to 70 miles an hour. So that is something that's all in play as far as today goes. So again, just starting, moving in our direction. Want to give everybody kind of a heads up where there's nothing to be concerned about at the very moment, but that's why I wanted to come on with it being relatively calm and give you an idea of what to expect. Okay, so this is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Not a whole lot has changed from this morning. Enhanced risk of severe weather there in the orange, which includes Dallas, Fort Worth, and areas northeast. And then the tornado threat, again, Dallas points northeast. I that might move back a little bit toward the west, and to be honest, I didn't check the 2 o'clock update, so that might be different. And I think, let me pull this up here. That's not going to do what I want to do. All right, so let's go back here. Well, let's do this. Here we go. Okay. I was just trying to read some of your comments. Hello, Angela. Everyone's gone tonight, not in the mood to die. I don't think you'll have to worry about that, Angela. Let's hope. No, Kara, it doesn't sound like fun at all. It does not. You're welcome, Nancy. Yeah, so I just want. Oh, well, there's our first tornado warning. Hold on. All right, so let's see. All right, that's gonna be in Oklahoma. Not good news for them, but matter of fact, let's go to this different screen here. Yeah. So if you know people in South Central Oklahoma, then there's definitely a tornado threat with that storm. Not in North Texas, so just want to be clear about that. This storm right here, this west of Mineral Wells, is the one we have to keep an eye on going forward. So, all right. So let's get back to our slides here. All right. And so again, tornado threat, which we just got our first tornado warning for today, so that's not good. The hail threat, not much has changed from this morning. 30% chance to see hail, which is a red. 30 to 45% chance. And then the hatched area, which is a 10% chance of seeing 2-inch hail in diameter or greater within 25 miles of a point. That's all the severe weather criteria within 25 miles of a point. Again, statistically, chances of you seeing something aren't good, but when we have these supercell storms that are popping up, then that's something that we definitely want to be aware of. So speaking of that, so the reason I wanted to come on, at least partly come on right now when there's not much going on, at least in the immediate area, is just to kind of talk about severe weather protocol, if you will. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning is issued when you have hail at least 1 inch in diameter, which we're going to see plenty of that, and or wind gusts in excess of 58 miles an hour. Of course, you can have a tornado, which would be a tornado warning. So just make sure you have a place to seek shelter later today. I don't know that you'll have to actually do that, but just have a place to go if you need to have a place to go. If you're in your house, just interior room, stay away from your windows, stay away from doors, things like that. If you happen to be traveling, which I know some of you are, so those of you who are traveling, just please be careful and be aware of the weather. Probably the most unsafe place you can be in a situation like this is in your car. So if you see dark skies headed your way, find sturdy shelter, find a gas station, a convenience store, something like that. Get out of your car, go to that sturdy shelter structure. And if you're traveling, so it's just not the place to be if you are in a vehicle when the weather gets really bad. All right, so let's go back. And let's see. Let me check the comments. The Mineral Wells storm looks a bit concerning. It does. It is concerning. That's what we're going to watch so far, at least in the short term. DAC hail protectors on cars. Murphy's Law. Yeah, put those hail protectors on there. Let's do Murphy's Law and let's let's get that hail out of here. So if you got hail protectors on the cars, everybody go put them on. It's kind of like when it rains, everybody go wash their car and it'll rain. So definitely do that. Hopefully we won't need it, but unfortunately, as we've already seen, there is some hail reports already out there, and that's something that we definitely have to keep an eye on. That's for sure. All right, so let's go back to the radar here, and again, let's zoom in a little bit on this particular storm that's northwest of Mineral Wells. So, all right. So this one, as Angela rightly pointed out in the chat, this one's getting concerning because we are starting to see a little bit of a hook on it. Let's see if we can get that velocity there. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's see if we can do some analysis on this. So right here is where we definitely have some rotation. I wouldn't be shocked if the National Weather Service doesn't issue a warning. This is probably not, it's not tight rotation, but it's definitely concerning. So you got the change of direction in the wind from the radar site and toward the radar, or away from the radar site and toward the radar site. Matter of fact, I think that one deserves a, I don't know what that color. Let's try this one. That one deserves a red color. And so the other concerning thing about this particular storm, as you can see, these hail markers. Now you'll see, a 3.5 inch hail marker, a lot of 2.5, things like that. And these aren't necessarily ground reports. This is what the radar is estimating. But again, it's one of those things where if the radar is estimating 2-inch hail, 3-inch hail, it may not be quite that big that's reaching the ground, but that's big enough, as you can imagine. So definitely something we want to watch on this particular storm. Let's see if we can get the details on this. They haven't really updated it. 2-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see that one get a warning. Hopefully not, but they're watching it really closely. All right, so let's go back to the reflectivity here. All right, let's see. Oh, thanks, Dak. The only weatherman he trusts. Okay, well, I will definitely take that as a compliment. Okay, let's get rid of this. All right, let's go back to reflectivity. We're definitely going to watch that, though. And actually, what we need to do on that storm is, okay, it is still moving more northeast than east, so that's good. So let's put a tracker on here. So this is the hail core. If we take this direction out, we'll go out a little bit ways here. Oh shoot, let me check the storm motion on this. 45 miles an hour. Okay. All right. So now let's put this tracker on here. It looks like I would say it's something like this. So we'll do 45 miles an hour. Yeah. So you're looking at anything in the Metroplex. Just scrolling down here. Yeah, not really there, even within an hour. So that's good news. But remember, an hour from now is about 4 o'clock. So that's what we thought, that we would start to see these storms move into the western part of the Metroplex. So that's something that we definitely want to keep an eye on. Okay, Kara, that's a great question. So our cooler temperatures don't help us. I am so glad you brought that up, because I am going to show you why they won't stay cool for long. So here, let me refresh this. So remember, we like the sun, and the sun's great and all that. Well, we're not gonna like it here. So I think I can make this work. I'm gonna try to do. So you can see this clearing line right there, and that's generally moving to the east, that you can see. So these storms, you can see these tops of these storms on the satellite picture that were severe warned, are popping up in relatively clear air. So that's what we're seeing. So this line of clearing is generally moving to the east, and that's what will help destabilize our atmosphere. Now, having said that, I don't know that it's going to get clear enough and warm enough quick enough to be really bad, but there's such a dynamic aspect to the system that it won't take a whole lot to do that, unfortunately. All right, so good question, Kara. I appreciate you asking that. All right, so let's clear that one out, and let's see. Oh, well, you know what? Let's do this. There we go. That'll work. All right. So, speaking of that, temperature in my house 66 degrees. Not exactly warm, but not exactly cool either. We were in the upper 50s when it was raining this morning, so it's definitely warmed up some. That's for sure. All right, so let's go back to the radar here. Matter of fact, let's do this one. Yeah, so still hanging out to the west of us, of course, and we'll go back here, and we will zoom out on this. So as you can see, which is not surprising, you got this cell here, you got this cell here. This one's got a special weather statement on it. This one does too. So if you are anywhere in this area, which is basically Collin County, Denton County north, doesn't mean that Dallas and Tarrant County are out of the woods by any means. It just means that in the immediate future, that is something that you definitely want to keep an eye on. So like I said, probably really not going to see a whole lot unless something pops up in between now and 4 o'clock. But after 4 o'clock, it's just going to be go time, unfortunately, and not the kind of go time that we want to talk about. We want to talk about fun go time, not this go time. But sadly, I don't think that's going to be the case. Oh, don't want to do that. Now, interestingly enough, like I always like to say, not everybody's going to see severe weather, but some of us will. So there's no doubt about that. All right, I'm just doing a lot of things at once here, so if I seem distracted, I apologize. Well, I don't know if it's aiming at you, Angela, but I couldn't deny that, unfortunately. I'm sure you'll give us ground reports when it gets closer. Just be safe, of course. Yeah. Okay, there's another warning. Yeah, that's that storm that is northwest of Bowie, probably. Yeah, that's that storm. If I can circle that, zoom in on that one again. Yeah, you can see they just issued that one. So that's not headed in our way, so don't worry about that. Anyway, yes, Jensen, local is what I like to do local. Yeah, Patty, here we go again. Yeah, well, it's springtime, unfortunately. So as far as the tracker goes, yes, when these storms get closer to Dallas Fort Worth, definitely will be using the tracker quite a bit, that's for sure. Because got to give y'all a heads up on when it's going to be here. Hey Carmen, yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna be like the last one in the sense that it's gonna be, as we jokingly say in weather circles, a wind bag. Uh, I mean, don't get me wrong, these individual storms will have some wind with them, but we had this line of storms last time, and it's something that we won't see that kind of configuration like we did last time. However, be more isolated. But if you're under the storm, that is not that is pretty nasty. Then that system might seem a little not too bad. Not trying to scare anybody, but just give me a heads up. Oh, Christy, my goodness, I thought about that. Boy, let's hope that the bad stuff passes your way. I forgot about your roof getting put on yesterday. My goodness. Let's oh gosh, let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's see. Yeah, I do see, Andrew, I do see your comments here. So as I'm reading it, so thank you for that. I know you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for that. All right. So let's see, Paul. If they make a squall line, is that not better? Do you think they will form a squall line? Well, Paul, it's funny you say that because I was going to transition into this at the end of this particular report to talk about that because, yes, so we really have. This morning I talked about two kind of events, the morning one being minor, the afternoon one being much more major, of course. And that's definitely still the case. However, the afternoon one may get divided up into kind of part one, part two. So part one are these individual supercells that we're seeing forming out west of us. And then the cold front, which will be rather stout, you will feel it tomorrow, that's for sure. It won't be springtime. That will be when you see a line of storms. And if I can switch radars here, we might be able to show. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Well, I'm going to zoom in here. Let's try this. There we go. So look at the Wichita Falls radar. Don't see a line yet. No. Yep. I love how they say Montague. It's Montague. New severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see the other map here. Yeah, it's for that same storm. Okay, so as far as the cold front, so probably just starting to see that line form, but the cold front somewhere right here, it probably should be a blue line. So as this comes this way, we're eventually going to see a solid line of storms form and then move through the Metroplex probably no later than 8 o'clock. So the good news is this whole system won't last terribly long into the night. It's just that between really starting at 4 p.m. and through about 8 p.m., we'll be dealing with these supercell thunderstorms, and then the cold front and the squall line will move through. So the squall line itself will still could be severe, still could see some hail and high winds, but probably not near as, crossing your fingers, not near as bad as these individual cells are. And that's the thing you remember about supercell thunderstorms is that if you're underneath it, then it's something that it's not a good time. But if you are literally 5 miles away from it, you might not even see a raindrop. So that's what makes those so crazy, is because you could really have a really bad day, and someone sometimes even 2 or 3 miles away from you say, well, what's the fuss about? And so that's the nature of supercell thunderstorms. All right, so let's get back to the Fort Worth radar here. All right, so just want to make sure we not miss anything. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, those storms are definitely headed your way. Andrew's up north of us, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Yeah, as far as closing early, I'm not sure about that. That's an individual call, but I would say you're probably looking at a 5 p.m. time frame for you, Andrew, as opposed to maybe 4 p.m. for people in the western part of the Metroplex. So just FYI, if things keep going the way they're going. All right, so matter of fact, I want to do one quick model run here for people, for my audience. That's not going to work. Let's try this. So we're going to do the HRRR, which is a pretty reliable model when it comes to predicting severe weather. So we're going to put this in motion. So this is a radar simulation. This is at 3 o'clock, so actually it's not that far off. So here's 4, and then here's 5, and here's 6. Here's 7 p.m. and this is actually with the cold front, and 8 p.m. So, and 9 p.m. So you can kind of see that's the cold front will kind of move everything out. So this is 5 o'clock. So again, this is a radar simulation if you are just joining us, not the real radar. So I just want to give you an idea. That's why we're thinking that these storms will really get going between 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the Metroplex. So that's when you definitely want to be, if you can, if you have to be out and about, then just be really, really careful. Like I said, take shelter. Don't be in your car. If you are at home or in a place that has a sturdy shelter structure, then just stay away from windows and all that. So the bottom line is this I'll leave you with, and matter of fact, let's go back to the real radar and not the model. There we go. All right, we'll zoom in a little bit. And actually, before we sign off on this one, let me check the velocity here again. Yeah, let's see. It doesn't look as impressive. Thankfully, that's probably why they didn't get too excited about it. That's the base. Yeah, nothing. That's actually good. Nothing really to write home about there, so that's good. Okay. Hey, Josh. Localization of supercells years ago. Yeah, 2016. So Pardis actually got marble size cell. That was my house. But you're right. That's a great example, Josh. You know, people forget. I mean, that storm was so devastating for Wiley that people kind of thought that, hey, everybody got softball size hail, and they didn't. But it seemed that way because there were so many people affected. Yeah, that's. I hope we don't see anything like that here for anybody, but it's definitely something that we've got to keep an eye on. That's why I just wanted to come on before it got too crazy. All right, so I think that is everybody's questions for now. Yeah, and as always, I will pop back on, or you can comment after I sign off, and we can talk about what's ahead in between. So I would imagine, unfortunately, in a way, I would imagine you'll probably hear from me again sometime after 4, probably closer to 5, and we'll be watching these, and we'll get everybody through this, and we will be good like we always are. So in summary, tornado watch until 8 p.m., have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Parker County and Palo Pinto County, and watch that storm, especially if you're north of Interstate 30, but probably even north of the Denton Tarrant County line, the Collin Dallas County line. Just make sure you're aware of that. And I'll be watching it, and we'll be back on, like I said, unfortunately, later, and we'll walk through this and keep everybody safe and let you know what's going on. If you are traveling, let me know, and I will try to do my best to keep you up to date wherever you might be. Well, as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great afternoon. Be safe, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.